we can't get it.
So you see how much kidnappers are taking from victims.
My thing is, government should all the stakeholders together, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed. And once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. This is the last, and welcome to the last edition of Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ubebo. I'll be your host on today's program, alone in the studio. As you can see, my Friday public affairs analyst, Majid Dahiru, unfortunately, is not around. So we are going to be reviewing the papers, just seeing what the papers are saying, their headline stories. For review this morning, we have 4 papers on our menu. We have Nigeria's most influential leadership. We have its sister publication, National Economy, THISDAY, and Blueprint newspapers. Welcome once again. Today is July 8, 2022, and Leadership Friday has a leading story on its cover. 48 hours after Kuje prison attack, 2 policemen arrested over phone calls with escaped terrorists. 48 hours after Kuje prison attack, 2 policemen arrested over phone calls with escaped terrorists. And the rider we have is not true. Police denies it, says it's not true. Federal government fingers Boko Haram, beefs up security at correctional centers nationwide, puts checkpoints on red alert. Security operatives on the trail of escapees. The Minister of Interior, Aregbesola, says insider complicity behind invasion, according to Senate. The story is on page 4 of Leadership. I'll take it. Again, the leading story on Leadership Friday. 48 hours after Kuje prison attack, 2 policemen arrested over phone calls with escaped terrorists. 2 policemen arrested over phone calls with escaped terrorists. It's not true, police. Federal government fingers Boko Haram, beefs up security at correctional centers nationwide, puts checkpoints on red alert. Security operatives on the trail of escapees, Aregbesola. Insider complicity behind invasion, according to Senate. The story is on page 4 of Leadership newspaper. And up above the leading story, we have 2 stories there. After 7 ministers' resignation, Boris Johnson finally quits as British Prime Minister. The story made the rounds yesterday when it broke out that the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, finally resigned from his position. The story is on page 9 of Leadership. And still on that same platform, we have organ harvesting. Again, UK court denies Ekweremadu wife bail. Organ harvesting. Again, United Kingdom court denies former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu and his wife bail. The story is on page 6 of Leadership newspaper. And beneath the paper, we can scroll down. We still have other more interesting stories on the cover of Leadership. We have a sub-lead story beneath the headline story. Yes. Federal government, Northern governors review National Livestock Program, farmer security. Federal government, Northern governors review National Livestock Program, farmers security. The story is starting on the cover of Leadership, and it flows inside the pages. And still more on Leadership newspaper. Sam Ndazaya Foundation empowers widows at chairman's 50th birthday. The chairman of Leadership Media Group had celebrated 50th birthday yesterday, and the story is on the cover of Leadership. Sam Ndazaya Foundation empowers widows at chairman's 50th birthday, page 6 of leadership. The chairman of Leadership Media Group, Mrs. Zainab Nda Azaya. Insecurity. Turkey removes Nigeria from list of e-visa countries. Insecurity. Turkey removes Nigeria from list of e-visa countries. The story is on page 7 of today's leadership. Ida Kabi, federal government declares Monday, Tuesday public holidays. Page 6 of leadership. And on page 21 of same leadership, we have on the cover Obi, that is Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate. Peter Obi may unveil Dati Baba Ahmed as running mate today. It's a leading story, it's a story that has been making the rounds since yesterday, the news broadcast. And even on his Twitter handle, Dati Baba Ahmed has already made it known today what is going to take place as running mate to Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate. From Leadership Friday, we move over to the next paper we have on our menu, and that is This Day. What is this day saying? This July 8th, 2022. Still on Kuje prison attacks. It says Lawan, Senate President, insiders connive with terrorists to attack Kuje prison. Lawan, insiders connive with terrorists to attack Kuje prison. Says development symptomatic of security failure. We have mobilized all security apparatuses after attack. After attackers, federal government declares. Lawan, insiders connived with terrorists to attack Kuje prison. Says development symptomatic of security failure. And federal government declares we've mobilized all security apparatuses after attackers. And up above the leading story, we have a story: court removes Oborewori, installs Edebie as Delta PDP Guba candidate. Court removes Oborewori, installs Edebie as Delta PDP Guba candidate. Party sues for calm, says no cause for alarm. Excitement in ex-finance commissioner's camp. Speaker vows to appeal judgment. Court removes Oborewori, installs Edebie as Delta PDP Guba candidate. Party sues for calm, says no cause for alarm. Excitement in ex-finance commissioner's camp. Speaker vows to appeal judgment. The story is on page 5 of This Day newspaper. So for more on the stories, you can either log on to their website or get a copy of the paper for those within the country. And up above, still, yes, on the story, we have Boris Johnson resigns after mutiny in his party. The story is on page 5 of This Day. And let's see what the stories are saying. What This Day is saying. Up above the masthead. Up above the masthead, we have a business story. Natural oil gas suppliers seek 5-month licensing window for diesel importation. Natural oil gas suppliers seek 5-month licensing window for diesel importation. Members to meet Buhari on forest scarcity tax relief orders. Members to meet Buhari on forest scarcity tax relief orders. PMS consumption. House demands details of seized auction products from customs. PMS consumption. House demands details of seized auction products from customs. I'll take the leading story once again. Natural oil gas suppliers seek 5-month licensing window for diesel importation. Members to meet Buhari on forest scarcity tax relief orders. PMS consumption. House demands details of seized auction products from customs. The story is on page 5 of the story. Actually starts on the cover and flows over to page 5 of the paper. And also history. BPE pre-qualifies 16 firms for privatization of 5 power assets. Bureau of Public Enterprise pre-qualifies 16 firms for privatization of 5 power assets. The story is on page 6 of This Day. From this day, we are moving ahead, and that we have the next paper on our menu, and that is Blueprint. Let's see what Blueprint is saying this Friday, the last edition of Inside Nigeria for this week. Kujj break. US, UK alert citizens of more attacks. Nigerian Senate flares. Kujj break. US, United States, United Kingdom alert citizens of more attacks. Nigerian Senate flares. Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Gombe, Kaduna, others identified as hotspots. Lawmakers decry lack of CCTV, other tracking gadgets in facility. Security personnel comb 100-kilometer radius for escapees. Catholic priest kidnapped in Benue. Leading story once again making the cover of Blueprint newspaper. Kuje jailbreak. US, UK alert citizens of more attacks. Nigerian Senate flares. Borno, Yobe, Gadamawa, Gombe, Kaduna, others identified as hotspots. Lawmakers decry lack of CCTV, other tracking gadgets in facility. Security personnel comb 100-kilometer radius for escapees. Catholic priest kidnapped in Benue. The story is on page 6 of Blueprint newspaper. Still on Blueprint newspaper, let's move ahead above the leading story for what the paper is saying. NACON 2022 Hajj turbulent. Commission's boss never abandoned pilgrims. Fate of 650 intending Kano pilgrims uncertain. NACON, that is National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. 2022 Hajj turbulent. Commission's boss never abandoned pilgrims. Fate of 650 intending Kano pilgrims uncertain. And on the right-hand side of the paper, we have stories NGE, IMPAN, NUJ, IPI vow to resist attempts to stifle press freedom. NGE, IMPAN, NUJ, IPI vow to resist attempts to stifle press freedom. The story is on page 5 of Blueprint newspaper. NAMI charges professional bodies on contribution to tax development in Nigeria. That is the FIROS boss. NAMI charges professional bodies on contribution to tax development in Nigeria. And the story is on page 22 of Blueprint newspaper. And still on the Blueprint newspaper right-hand side, we have stories. Another one, only 84,803 of 3.2 million refugees in Nigeria registered. Only 84,803 of 3.2 million refugees in Nigeria registered, according to the federal government. And up above it, up above it, up above the story, Nogasa, 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 Nogasa high exchange rate cause of fuel scarcity, seeks energy bank. That is the right-hand story. Sorry for that mix-up. I was trying to get a clearer vision of the paper. And beneath the paper, let's go down, still on Blueprint newspaper. Page 14 of Blueprint newspaper. Government kidnapped 4 in Ekiti, demand 20 million naira ransom. Government kidnapped 4 in Ekiti, demand 20 million naira ransom. That is all we can take on Blueprint newspaper. From Blueprint, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is our sister publication, National Economy. National economy, 50% rise in house rent pushes tenants to city outskirts. Is a story, the story, headline story on Blueprint newspaper is a story that appeals to all Nigerians this Friday. It says 50% rise in house rent pushes tenants to city outskirts, especially in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Enugu, all these capital cities. 50% rise in house rent pushes tenants to city outskirts. 50% rise in house rent pushes tenants to city outskirts is an investigative story that was carried out by National Economy. Still on National Economy, let's take the story above the masthead. Story above the masthead says BP shortlists system firms for sales of power plants. BP shortlist Bureau of Public Enterprise shortlist system firms for sales of power plants. For more of the stories, you can log into the website www.nationaleconomy.com for more on the stories or get a hard copy. Well, viewers, this is where we come to today's end of and this week too of Inside Nigeria, which was brought to you on Leadership Television. Don't forget, next week, Monday, is another date with us. Same time, same station. I'm Winifred Weber here is wishing you a beautiful weekend. And don't forget, security is a collective responsibility and also a personal one. Do stay safe. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.